As individuals, we are strong, but as a community, we are powerful.
Tell me what you need, and I'll do what I can.
Who are we? MSI. Who are we? MSI. Who are we? MSI. 3, 2, 1. Hello everyone, this is your host with the most, Alan Ruelas, and welcome to Get Going with MSI. And we are going to be interviewing a special brother by the name of
Sebastian Rivera.
Completing our 6th episode, and we're going to be touching base with the valuable stories, as you know. Most definitely, let's talk about something that we need to acknowledge. During these past 2 weeks, I took a little break. We call it prioritization, health, and of course, mental health breaks. So with that being said, let's get into our 6th episode because it is important to get it rolling. Now with that being said, Sebastian, brother, ¿cómo estás?
I'm doing pretty good. I actually got some good news recently, which is pretty cool. I'm a 4th year computer science major, but I will be here for 5th year next year. And I actually found out a couple weeks ago that I'll be an RA next year, which is pretty cool. Free housing and all that stuff. Also, as many of you guys know, my girlfriend, who will be doing her master's here, is also going to come here and be a graduate assistant.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You shared that news with us, and you were running and excited.
I'm very excited. Yeah, it's really cool, honestly. Like, she works really hard, and I'm glad that she gets that opportunity.
No, and that's amazing. Great news is always good for everybody. Now, let me ask you, how are you really doing? I love I love asking that question because you could go as in-depth as you'd like.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna be honest. Like I am doing pretty good. Like obviously school is school, right? And I could always be doing a little bit better. You know, there's always room for improvement.
Why can I relate to that so much?
Right. So I can always be doing better. You know, work is work, and I can always be doing better in that. But I'm doing pretty good, honestly. Like I think I'm really glad to be out of COVID. Yeah. As many people, I didn't like COVID, and you know, school online was hard, and so was work, and dealing with people online. So I'm really glad to be in person, and I think I do a lot better in person when it comes to work, when it comes to school, and just everything, honestly.
Well, I will say I gave a personalized tour, and they asked me how was adapting to COVID. I mean, for all of us, I feel like it was a challenge. Yeah. It really made us look inward, and I mean, how was that experience for you?
Yeah, like I think I'm a lot more extrovert, even though I know I'm a computer science major, but I'm always been extroverted. So going online was really rough, because it's been a while since I've had to be alone for that long. So it was hard, right? I found myself trying to like organize online things with friends, whether that be like game nights or movie nights or whatever. And it worked sometimes, a lot of times, but sometimes it didn't. And sometimes, you know, you go a couple weeks, a month at a time, and it's like you're really just school and work, right? And you don't get that interaction. As we know, like a lot of Zoom classes, people don't talk and very quiet, and work as well. It's a lot of like independent online work. So I didn't get that like social aspect that I usually really like feed off of.
Let me tell you, correct me if I'm wrong. You're from the area of Moreno Valley.
I'm from Moreno Valley.
Moreno in the house. Yeah. I needed to bring that up because I'm from Fontana, California. Exactly. So you could say we're relatively close, but very far. Mm-hmm. Now, from what I understand, you have an athletic background. Can you share more about that? I'm very curious.
So I did cross country and track in high school. I was not that good. I was not even varsity. My school was really good though. Like they had a good program. They went and won state many times in track. Cross country, we went to CIF and they did pretty good. We had some really fast runners on the team. So I did get that like level of training. It really was never that deep for me. But I enjoyed it and I liked it. And I do think like it built like a lot of resilience in me, obviously like physically and mentally. Cause running is as much as it is a physical sport, it's a mental sport. Because whenever, you know, when you're in the middle of a race, you can just say like, I'm just going to go slower. And even if you can go faster, you don't have to.
Well, let me say, I this is our common ground. Let me tell you, how does that translate over to MSI?
I think when I first got here, it was like my athleticism, how does that translate into MSI?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You got a lot of leadership, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know about in cross country. We didn't have like leadership positions, but we did have like a lot of, I guess, like organizing. We did do like team stuff, team bonding, and I did a lot of times like, you know, I was the one to organize and do all that stuff. So that did kind of carry into here. So there was that. There, I guess, the level of stamina, like dealing with people as well, not just like running, obviously stamina, but like dealing with that large amount of group of people. Especially obviously high school sports is, you know, they split you off into girls and boys most of the time. So coming here, you know, I went from dealing with all the cross country boys to dealing with the cross country or the MSI guys. So that was good. I kind of had like that I guess relatability, right? Because I know like I said, I'm a computer science major. Not everyone here is, but most people like sports in some way or another. So that was cool. But yeah, that's that for that. Honestly, that
I will say I know Brother Thomas is also right at Kansai,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what our brothers offer. We could share our common careers in the past and all that. Now, outside from MSI, what other leadership roles do you currently have or have had?
Yeah, so I obviously I started here as an MSI scholar. Like 2 months after I started school, I started working here as a website and graphic design student assistant. And then after a year and a half, 2 years of working here, I transitioned over to housing, and I did and now currently still I'm the resident technology student assistant, which means that I do things like manage and upkeep the website in housing. So if you guys have problems with that, sorry. Hopefully all good though.
IT, huh?
Yeah, so and other IT related things like Wi-Fi issues, device registrations, and things like that.
You're always helping out Jeanette L. Hyder.
Yeah, I've become the resident, like, I guess I'm the resident technology student assistant in housing, but anywhere I go, it's always questions about, like, I can't connect to the Wi-Fi, and my phone is slow, or my laptop is slow, or I dropped it in water, can I fix it?
Mm-hmm.
Anything. People ask all kinds of questions.
What about ASI? How was that?
Yeah, so I also, last semester, I did ASI. I was on the board of directors for the College of ECS. Thank you. So it was cool. I liked it. It was a different space. I'm not used to that. Obviously, as a CS major, you don't get a lot of that, like politics and that sort of like side of the campus. But it was cool bringing that very like ECS like can do, will do attitude to the like more talking atmosphere and the more discussion based like environment. Mm-hmm. And so it was a learning experience, but it was also really cool.
Yeah, I mean, we know that Sebastian, you know, you got that leadership involved, but we also appreciate you as a person. A lot of people here, you know, like I say to other brothers, look up to you. And me being one of them, of course, I will always give flowers. I will give credit where credit is due. So most definitely, it is one of my, I gotta say, I'm honored to be here. Now, with that being said, we had the opportunity to go to YMOC. Yeah, so let's dive into that. Talk to me about that experience. Talk to me about the whole networking. Talk to me about the conversations from our keynote speakers. Tell us everything, because this is like a little behind the scenes for those who weren't able to go, and maybe next time we'll be able to.
Yeah, so it was really, I mean, honestly, like even to begin with, it was awesome to see MSI go to Sacramento, because we started MSI. My first year, I was the second cohort, but still very beginning. We were in like downstairs in a shared office with another department. There was like, imagine like a circular desk, and you cut it in half and push it up against a cubicle. There was me and another student assistant. We shared that half desk, and obviously we didn't fit. And then the staff were in like cubicles and small like office room spaces. And so to go from that to having our own space, to having a retreat like in the Marriott, to going all the way to Sacramento, like this is only the second time I've ever been on a plane. And a lot of, thank you. And a lot of, there was one, I don't remember who it was, but there's someone who was their first time on a plane. Yeah. And like to give that life, it was Bryant, yeah. To give that life, even like conference aside, to give that life experience aside, to like allow students to travel was awesome. And then there was the conference. The conference was really cool. For me, it really served as like a refresher, like a motivator. Obviously, like I love MSI and I love everything we do. But COVID like it did to most of us, took a lot of that motivation away, and YMOC kind of brought that back, especially for like we have our student org, CPOC, the Community Embracing People of Color. No plug there. And obviously like going online made it really hard to like do events and to be organized and to kind of like push that club forward. But after YMOC, I kind of got that like motivation and that like push to like do better and to keep trying. So that was really cool. It was also really educational, honestly, just to hear their thoughts and their perspectives on everything. Whether it be like empowering high school students to be in college, or motivating the college students to continue in college and not drop out, and to join leadership positions and to be active on campus, and to challenge social norms and all that.
Definitely. I cannot agree more with Brother Sebas. I mean, part of me, obviously, it was like, I had a reference from one of my deans from community colleges. Like, it's a table and it's your feast. You know what I'm saying? You pick and choose as you wish. And definitely hearing the keynote speakers, the workshops, getting to network. Remember the panelists?
Yeah.
They were just like going at it. And of course, our brother was able to go on top of the stage and share with everybody in Sacramento what was going on. And definitely representing Fullerton, ladies and gentlemen, I was in love. I mean, personally, I have an acronym called EAR, and I brought it up with ASI because I was just like, you know what, like, it's about listening, you know what I'm saying? Empowerment, equity, and representation. So for me personally, that was a 10 out of 10 experience. And your second time flying and Brian being first, let me tell you something. I was smiling from cheek to cheek. Did you enjoy? Talk to us about the hotel rooms and everything, like the food, taking the lifts. How was that?
Yeah. Well, so I did not take a lift. You guys took a lift. We're lucky that Jaren's dad is actually, so Jaren, the one that got to go on stage, was really cool.
So better said, I should talk about the lifts so we can.
Yeah. Well, so shout out to Jaren. Like I said, he's awesome. He's the one who got to go on stage. He was a YMOC speaker a couple years ago before COVID. And he's from that area, so his dad came and he was able to give us some rides, and we got to explore downtown Sac, which was awesome because, like I said, I've never been up there. It's a whole new experience, and especially getting to go with everyone. Like I said, although we all may have got there separately, we were there together and we got to walk around and hang out and all that. So it was really awesome. Food was a little expensive, but it was good, and we had a good time, and you guys even made a friend, and so it was awesome, especially like Old Town Sac, seeing it turn from like very old rustic vibes to like, we went under that little tunnel and then it's like stadium and like all the nice shops and stuff like that. So it was really cool.
We were able to walk around and bond. Brotherhood, let me tell you, getting to know everyone more in depth. Now, with that being said, I mean, transitioning over for YMOC, if you want more information about YMOC or MSI, of course, links are down below. Go ahead and feel free to read, to explore, because that's what we do, offer the resources. Now, most definitely, let's talk about how your friends would describe you, Brother Sebastian. I want you to go in depth because this is where all like emotions and people get to relate. How would you perceive your friends to be able to, describe you, Sebastian?
I hope good. I hope well. I don't know. I feel like I've had a lot of character growth in the last 4 years. That being like with MSI and with my significant other and with friends. I think I came in freshman year with a very much like just do it attitude, right? And although that was really helpful for me in that situation, sometimes it didn't come off like that in the beginning. And I had to grow emotionally a lot, I think. But like to learn how to be, obviously like I feel like I went through it a lot in high school and coming into college. And so I had to like gain that sympathy for others, who are going through different things, right? Not necessarily more or less, but just different, right? Because it's all like, it's different for everybody, right? You can't really measure it as more or less, right? It's just different. So I had to learn how to do that. I had to learn how to deal with things that I had never gone through, with people with anxiety and people with depression and people with all sorts of issues. And I still don't always get it right. Like I've gotten it wrong more than I got it right. But I'm trying to learn, right, and trying to figure it out, because the way I deal with those issues is not the way everybody else does. And so hopefully, like most importantly, it's like obviously caring, like whether that be through like, just talking and comforting or acts of service. Hopefully that's what they think, is that I'm caring and that I at least want to help, whether or not I do or don't, like I can, or like I do it effectively, like I do want to, and like a doer, because that is as much as, as much as I am exploring like more of that like emotional intelligence, I am very much like an executor when it comes to like doing things. I do like planning things, and I like organizing events and even just like hanging out with people or school events, and so I like hopefully caring, and hopefully very I would like to say that I have taken on a lot of leadership roles, and hopefully they see and recognize that. Yeah,
we gotta give a little round of applause for that one. I will say that was good. I'm telling you. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure they see it. I see it too. The effort's there, and we're only human, right? I mean, there's only so much you could do. Obviously, we live and we learn, and that's the factor. This was today. Tomorrow's tomorrow. In the past, well, it's the past. You either learn from it and you move forward. And let me tell you something. That's a beautiful thing, because I want to hear what they say now. Let's see if it aligns. But Brother Thomas did obviously allocate for this, so we're giving this the benefit of the doubt. And with that being said, that wraps up all my questions for today's episode number 6. Brother Sebastian, we appreciate you very much, and continue working hard and being who you are, because that's what we stand for. And most definitely, that is our cue, ladies and gentlemen, with
Sebastian Rivera.
All right, later, everybody. Bye.